This week I am in Melbourne, and the reason I'm in Melbourne is because I need to renew my Indian passport. And I couldn't do it in Sydney because all the dates were gone, and the only place available was Melbourne and Canberra. And the reason I chose Melbourne was because I used to live in Melbourne, and it'll be easy for me to navigate around, and also might meet a friend or two today and then fly back. But I'm looking forward to it. It's very nice to come back to Melbourne, and it's very unpleasant to forget that Melbourne is always bloody cold. Always.
Don't do that for your vlog. Thank you.
We're trying, what is this, 129th pair of glasses on Yuana. I think they look good. Gift for someone. If it doesn't like it, just hit on his ear so hard that he can't hear anymore. Don't stay away too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you out of bed.
Hell, going through so much shit. I just wanna lift up other people, inspire. Guess I don't know where I'm going in this life, but I spoke the microphone kinda like a plot. Shout outs to my bar, lifting up, trying to inspire. Number one, I don't know, I got the sense of God. Put it down like a boss, yes, with the trumpet sound above. That's my man with the glasses, coming like it, looking from the India, but the rap they bang the dash. Ain't about that negative, all about rapping like this instead. Shout outs to my bra, kick in the door like a small biggie. No dream is too big, I dream like some big bad bitch and kids. I'm feeling like Batman when I wreck this thing. For combat, I'ma wreck this thing. Turn up, that's my raw passion inside my heart. I don't know where to start. Don't worry about what other people think you are. Straight up, that's my raw. You're a smart guy, you know intelligence. Yeah, glasses speak for it all. You know what's going on about here. Yeah, don't go to bed. You know, don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you out of bed. And don't stay away too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you out of bed.
thought I had already recorded this video, which I had, but I misplaced it somewhere else. I think that goes pretty well with this whole topic about ADHD. Regardless of getting diagnosed with one, I would say currently it was not very surprising, because actually last year my doctor or my GP had already had a chat with me, and we had done an initial assessment, and that did show that I was at a high risk of having ADHD. And then working with a psychiatrist over the year, it was towards the end of the year last year, but my psychiatrist told me that he cannot diagnose me with ADHD straight away, and that he has to go through further assessments. And last year I was going through a more of a mental health struggle, where I was diagnosed with major depression disorder. So my psychiatrist was like, we will treat your depression first, and once we have your depression sorted, or in a place where you are doing much better. So there was lack of motivation, and there was lack of commitment to things, and that could be because of depression as well. So they both could be masking each other. So just to differentiate the two, he said that I would like to first treat your depression. So I went through the whole treatment of antidepressants and tried to become more active, and tried to be taking care of my health in general, eating better, working out, exercising, try to interact with people. And then now finally I think we reached a point where depression is not as much of an issue as much as the focus and attention is. And especially in med school, I think any kind of lack of focus or attention really magnifies. So I think getting diagnosed now, and how I feel is more than initially when I first heard and I thought that I had it from my doctor. I felt that it was a shameful thing, especially from the culture I come from in India. I think initially as a kid, I think now it's very different, but as a kid I remember it was a very different way of looking at mental health. And ADHD only meant that you're not good enough, or this, or it's not smart or dumb or whatever, and that could be true as well. But so initially I was like, no, that is not possible. And then but then now as an adult, I'm looking at from a very different perspective. My perspective is there is an issue, and that needs to be solved. And if you have an issue which is inherently within you, you just have to work towards it and to fix it. You can't fight away. So that's what I've learned in life. So now my attitude is, okay, let's say I have it. So what's the next step? How can we fix it? So of course, I don't feel ashamed, but I feel more educated and knowledgeable now. At the same time, I do feel like if I knew of this when I was much younger, in my school days, in my teenage years, my life could have been very different. I feel if I knew exactly what the issue was, because all this time I thought I was just lazy, and then I had an ambitious drive to do things in life, so maybe that helped a bit to keep pushing. But inherently that was always something I was like always trying to hit a wall, and thinking that hitting it will probably move it further out, but it wasn't. It was a very slow process, and not knowing why that was me, and just thinking, and that led to a lot of self-doubts at times. But then I had to go through my own positive periods where I was like, no, I can do this. And then eventually I feel like not trying to know what the problem was the problem. But yeah, these are generally what I felt. This is not something that I wrote somewhere or read somewhere, and this is generally what I felt. And I also had a very good friend who I had a conversation with, and she's a psychologist as well in Melbourne. And she also told me that don't try to read online, because if you try to read online about depression or about your ADHD,
that will take you down a rabbit hole that is hard to come out from. So I tried my best not to see it. Of course, depression, ADHD is something that's discussed in med school, so I had some fundamental knowledge about it. And of course, there were friends around me as well who had been diagnosed with ADHD, so I just had conversations with them, and that was a good insight. So yeah, I just didn't read anything anywhere, and this is how I genuinely been thinking in my head for so long. What I have, I've told my parents about it. I mean, and everyone in my family, but not to the extent where I've told them in a way that is worrisome. I just told them like this is something I've been discussing with my psychiatrist, and they've been pretty open about it. And all my friends around me and everyone is very supportive. So the next step would be medication and psychotherapy. So I'm really keen to change my life. I'm really keen to understand this problem, and because there's a spectrum, no one fits in it truly. So I'll have my own struggles, and that is actually very exciting to me because I get to see this change for myself, through myself. So that excites me. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think probably talking about all the symptoms and my struggles with ADHD in the past without getting diagnosed and after getting diagnosed, I think that should be another video. I'll just, for now, I'm just going to leave what I'm thinking in my heart and in my head. And maybe in the future, I'll probably go into more details about other things. Well, that's it. Thank you.
She had a rash on her face, which was both sensitive, mainly on her cheeks and across her nose, and she had arthralgia in the small joints of her hands and wrists. Blood tests at the time showed pancytopenia, so all lines were affected with blood and the globin level.
So I have something to share. So that is that I love avocados, and the last 4 or 5 years I've eaten so much avocado that I know exactly when the market is going to change, when avocados are going to go out of stock. So usually around February and March is when the avocado supply goes down a bit, and to tackle that I have learned to buy avocado in bulk. So I just got a delivery of avocados, and it's a whole tray just for myself. Look at this green gold. In the next few days I'm just gonna enjoy all the avocados I can. And honestly, looking at it, I feel like it's not even enough. I might have to ask them to deliver more of these. Probably gonna make another order very soon. I'm crazy about avocados.
Beautiful.
My post one.
His shaved head.
Okay, you already eaten a lot, so yeah.
So he's like,
Oh, it's super.
it's so good.
It's actually very good.
Very good. That's an apple? That's a very thin apple.
No, I believe you.
I sold him on it.
Look at the focus. Can we eat, please?
No, that's framing. It's terrible.
Oh god. Wow.
But then,
You're really getting in there.
but then he pours chocolate on it and it makes a hole. Like Alice in Wonderland, like that story.
No,
where
that's so good.
The rabbit hole. So he like literally made that happen. So he'll build it and then he'll pour like hot chocolate in it and then it'll make a hole.
That's makes sense. A little bit. Ooh, yeah, I can smell it.
The saffron.
Does it take its own time to like open?
Yeah, you need to decompress it.
Smells good. Smells freaking amazing.
Wow.
I think our mothers would be proud. If only I could send this smell to them. You know, but like,
Proper, it's very organized.
yeah. Look at this. Pretty much a palau, man. Yeah, very good palau. We smashed it.
So long. Long.